What's going on? This is Philip from What You Expect, and I'm pulling up on Bay Area singer with her latest single, Pull Up, KRollin.
Hey,
How are you feeling? Your new single out. It's making some noise. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I really love that I've been placed in a lot of playlists. That's like making me feel really good, and people have just been like DMing me out of the blue lately and telling me that I slap. So it's just really been boosting my head up a lot and giving me more confidence to just keep going with my music.
So the new single has Zay on it, um, another Bay Area singer. Can you tell us y'all's relationship?
Zay is one of my close friends. We met probably about like 3 to 4 years ago. And at first, I wasn't really into my music that deep because I was playing like sports and stuff. And you can't really balance that, honestly. Like once you commit to like a sport collegiate life, everything else is just out the window. So later on in our friendship, he found out that I sang, and he was really mad at me for a minute. But then he really encouraged me to like start putting out my own music and stuff like that. So he invited me to his studio sessions, and we were able to just, mess around and make a couple of songs that probably will never come out. But he's somebody that pushed me to be, who I am today. So I really appreciate him for that. So he's like really one of my close friends and my mentors as well.
So you guys have been making music for a minute then.
I mean, we made one song and then we made Pull Up. So
Mhm.
that shows you like how much gap in between that we had our own things going on. So
So he kind of introduced. Was he the first person to bring you into a studio?
yes. Well, yes, actually. So it was between my cousin James and okay. It was between my cousin Bentley and Zay because basically Bentley has been doing music since he was in high school. So him and his friends have always been in that environment. And I wouldn't say that I was in the studio with them, but he definitely like invited me to a few sessions around the same time that Zay was also making music. So it was just like kind of that influence. But Zay was the one that really like pushed me to like hop on a track and, start actually showcasing my own voice as well. So yeah.
When did you really start taking music more seriously? So like you talked about Zay like kind of like putting the battery in your back to like get started, but what pushed you to kind of like self motivate yourself to be like, okay, I got to push myself because I really want to do this.
Um, I'm not sure. I would say that I was always into music though, like throughout high school, middle school, childhood. I was always in music and I was always singing. And in high school, I was influenced me as far as like performance wise and also seeing other musicians. I would say that hmm getting back into music, it's just more so that I was going through a lot of stuff that I didn't know how to express. And I remember like when I was a child, I used to have a lot of artists that I would look up to and like seeing them perform live and stuff. I know that I potentially have the ability to do that same thing that the people that I looked up to did. So that also pushed me. And so at first, honestly, like all the songs I made was just so that I can get my feelings out. And it was just metaphorically speaking about how I felt inside. And so from then it was just like, let me just put it out. I guess it might slap. And then everybody's just been telling me, hey, I really fuck with it. I really connect to like your music. So that also like pushes me as well.
100%. So like who are some of your musical inspirations?
Mm, mm-mm. There's so many. India.Arie is definitely like one of those people, only because like my mom used to listen to her like a lot growing up. And so I definitely like slap her to this day. And the fact that she has like a deeper voice and I feel like I can definitely connect on that level is something that influences me as well. I would also say I listen to a lot of I listen to everything, honestly. But there's this one band that I really like, and they're called London Grammar. And the main vocalist, she goes crazy. She has a lower tone as well, but she's able to like carry her notes out.
Mm,
And that's something that when I was in choir, I looked forward to technically. Um, but really, honestly, I just listen to what slaps to me and go from there. I don't really feel like I try to sound like anybody else. I just try to make what I feel work on the beat.
mhm.
Mhm.
So you've mentioned the word slap a couple of times. So this would be a great time
Oh.
to mention where you're from and how that affected how you
I'm from
grew up. And
okay. Well, I'm from Oakland, so I feel like it's a lot of culture coming from there. I do want to set the record straight though. I did move when I was like younger with my mom, but I would always visit my dad out here on the weekend and just like seeing all the OGs and just connecting to that as I'm like driving, down the street and stuff. Cause I live in the deep east, so it's just like it's so much going on out there. Um, so that I would say that definitely affects like how I grew up, but at the same time, I don't feel like I fit in a lot of categories when it comes to like personality wise because I think that a lot of people look at me a certain way, like as far as like my social media and like my, you know, presence. They see something else. But once, you actually take time to have a conversation with me and to, have an intellectual experience, it definitely changes your views as well. So no matter where I go, I feel like a lot of people just tell me like, oh, you're not like, people out here and blah blah blah. So I just feel like I fit in my own category.
speaking of Bay Area, let's talk about Project Level. For the people that might not know, can you like break down what it is, what they do, and how they've impacted you?
Project Level is a nonprofit organization and it is run by Big Rich, who is a San Francisco Bay Area legend. Let me just take that away. Project Level.
Yeah,
That would
that
be kind of
was
messed up, huh? Okay. So Project Level is a nonprofit organ. Why do you keep laughing? Okay. So Project Level is a nonprofit organization that's based in San Francisco and it's run by Big Rich and Danielle Banks. And I would just say that they reach everything. They have the dance department, they have music, they have modeling, they have just videography, photography, anything that you can think of, they have that. And so during the beginning of quarantine, I was actually able to participate in one of their first classes that were online through Zoom. And through that, I was able to just like find myself a lot, honestly, like, and get a lot of tips to how to grow my social media, how to like just stay consistent with my music and whatnot. And at the end, they were kind enough to send me some recording equipment. So once I get Pro Tools, then to just I'll be set to just have my own studio in my house so that way I can just knock out songs when I feel like I'm in the mood. So Project Level, I would feel like they've definitely influenced me a lot as far as like my strictness on myself and just being proactive and just the business like mindset because we were able to have conversations with a lot of people that were very influential, like Burner and Saweetie. We were able to talk to the creator of Huff, and it was just like a very humbling experience, and just they were all down to earth and just so willing to share the way that they were able to win. And I think that that's something that a lot of people are not down for these days, and they don't want to see other people come up on top as well. But I feel like there's plenty of room for all of us. And I think that project level, that's also their mindset. And so they set a lot of people up for just amazing things. Like one girl, her name's Lariah. She's on The Voice right now. She's on Team Christina. So we're rooting for her.
Shout out
And
to
we
her.
also got a Golden. He just went platinum.
Yeah,
He
number
just
one.
dropped
Number one single in the country.
Hello. And
hmm
he joined Project Level the summer before that time.
mm
So I remember seeing him at Rolling Loud and I was just like, oh my gosh.
So that has to inspire you, right?
Definitely. It's definitely inspiring. And I feel like we all have our own timing though. And I think that their time is like, a lot closer than mine might be. But I do feel that I'm on the way. Once I just learn how to stay consistent and just get my stuff together to where I don't have to stress out about so many different components in my life, I feel like that will be the time where I'll, rise up and show
There we
everybody
go.
my number.
Do you feel any pressure? Like, do you have any pressure to be like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of people that are kind of around me have success. I need to have success right now. Like, what's your mindset right now? Do you feel any pressure, or is it kind of like, I know it's gonna happen?
Um, no. I wouldn't say I feel pressure. I do feel though that a lot of stuff like mundane wise, as far as like working a regular job and having to pay bills and, cook for yourself it's humbling, but at the same time, when you know that you're supposed to be at a certain level, like you have a different path in your life, all that working stuff, all the slow life is just boring. And it makes you angry because you feel like you should not be here right now. But I think that I have my own timing, and I'm just grateful to be here today, honestly. I think that, like I said, if I just keep working, that'll show me, everything in life is not easy. And I think that I've been blessed enough to where it hasn't been as hard as it could be, but at the same time, it could be a lot worse. So I'm just taking my days as they come to me.
Right, right. Now, a lot of people don't know you were a hooper. Tell us about that and maybe how it affects your work ethic.
Ooh.
Loving basketball action.
Okay, so I wouldn't say that I was a hooper. I would say that I definitely played basketball for 2 years at my JUCO. And I just hope that y'all that know me don't say too much. But that has taught me a lot, the work ethic wise. My coach used to have us wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning just to work out for 3 hours and then go to class, go back to practice, work out again for 2 hours, and go to study hall after every day for 5 days a week. And that was for 3 months. So just that mental strength built up a lot in me, and like giving up is not in my mind anymore. But
Mhm.
I also will say that that made me not afraid of any workout anymore or any kind of running, because he just ran it in the ground. But I mean, that's something that teaches us a lot. And I definitely do use it today. I will say that at first I was blocking it out of my mind because it was just such a traumatic experience waking up so early and just doing too much. But it's all, for a reason. So I'm just very grateful that I got the experience as long as I did. And I
And
don't ever
you're also not just a singer. So let's talk about modeling as well and like what you have planned as far as business ventures.
yeah. I just recently had a collaboration with Forever 21 that I was in through Project Level. Again, they really set me up. It was actually just an open Instagram competition at first, and it was just I just saw a heck of people posting it like, "Oh, have the opportunity to, go to a live casting for Forever 21 experience." And I didn't know if it was real or not, but I just said, "Hey, I can't win and I can't lose." So either way. So I just tried it, and I made the top 200 spots out of 23,000 people. And basically that day, it was just a lot going on, but we had to stand in line for 4 hours just to be interviewed. And then from that moment, we had to wait about 2 weeks before they told us the finalists. And I made that. So I was able to model the clothing line collaboration that Project Level did, and I was able to be on a billboard in New York. So that was my first modeling experience ever. And I'm just so grateful that I got the opportunity because I really needed that at that time in my life. I was going through a lot, and I just I didn't really have a direction. I would say I was going through a lot of healing, and that kind of put me back on track, I would say. And it definitely paid off in the long run. I'm just so grateful that I was able to just see myself where other people see me, and that has also strengthened my work ethic and where I want to be as far as modeling as well. And I've just been trying to, work with as many photographers as I can, without this corona situation. But once this is cleared up, I feel like I'll definitely be back out there.
And how did it feel to like see your face on a billboard? Like that had to be crazy. Like New York Times Square.
It really didn't register for a while. Like at first I was just like, wow. But then I'm like, hey, I'm in Times Square.
Yeah.
And then but I feel like it would have definitely been a little more surreal if I was able to like visit and actually physically see myself there. But I mean the pictures were pretty awesome too, so I can't complain too much.
So COVID has kind of like put a roadblock on modeling just because of, obviously 6 feet distance, masks and all
Mhm.
that. But on the music end, what's going on over there? What are we doing?
Um Working.
Working. Do we have like a go ahead.
Oh, what? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, do you have like any like dates in mind as far as releasing more music? Are we gonna just keep pushing pull up? What are we looking at right now?
Honestly, I'm just taking it day by day, like I said, but I do have a few unreleased songs that are just sitting in my bag. So I'm just waiting on those, just feeling for when the time is right to just drop them. One of them I do want to have a visual for when I drop, so that's gonna be the one that I really like push because I love that song and I feel like everybody will love it too. I do have a sneak peek on my Instagram as well. My Instagram is KRollin Music. So if y'all want to check it out,
That's
it's called
up.
Over It. Thank you. But other than that, I mean, I'm just trying to write every day, try to get as much as I can out. And at the same time, I want to put together a project for the end of the year. I'm just hoping that I can get it together. So I don't want to promise anything, but just know that I am working to, create something that I feel like a lot of people will connect to and will really like. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. So, do you have any collaborations? Because obviously, like, the Bay Area is like one of the bigger like places for music. So, like, have you ran into anybody, made music with anybody?
Hmm. I have, but I don't want to give too much away. And I have some stuff on working end as well. So,
Top secret.
I'm just yeah, I'm gonna let the public think what they want to think. But just know, big things popping, little
Big things
things happen.
popping. Let's talk about your like lashes too, because you said that you do have like a lash company that you've been working on. So tell us more about that as well too.
Yeah, so I just recently have been working, well, it hasn't been recent. I've been working on it for a while actually. And it's my line of premium faux lashes. And the lash line is called Rollin Lashes. So there you have it, Rollin Lashes.
Yeah, do the
It's
math. Do the
perfect hand
math.
in
Do the
hand.
math.
So it definitely combines my love for weed and for lashes and makeup and just puts it all together. So my lashes are they're packaged in a medicine bottle. But other than that, I don't really want to give too much of that away either because I'm gonna be dropping very soon. I just want to make sure it's perfect because everything I do, I'm hands on and I'm there every step of the way. And I feel like that's also my downfall because I want to make sure that everything is just to par before I just allow other people in because I feel like there are also a lot of people who prey on my downfall. And I feel like there isn't a lot of room for error when you're in the eyes of a lot of people. So, not saying that that is something that I really pay attention to, but I also want to say that because I pay so much attention to detail, it makes it really hard for me to push things when I feel like it's not up to par for myself. So, Rolling Lashes on the way. The Instagram for that is KRollin Lashes. And you guys will be able to see when I drop. So
Mhm.
you can just
Mhm.
follow that as well.
How do you balance all this stuff though? Because you've got a lot going on right now. How do you balance everything?
Yeah. I'm also a student. So that's just like a lot. And I work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Like I said, everything's a work in progress and I can't say that I'm a perfect person or that I have everything in line, but I will say that I just allow the universe to take control and just allow it to tell me when the time is right. I think that everything has its own time, and if I try to push it, it might mess up a lot of other things that are in line as well.
And it seems like a lot of these emotions you have, you like put in the music because your
Oh,
music is very personable.
yeah, it is very personal. And I just hope that the people that it's about don't listen to it.
Is that on purpose? Like, is that like in the studio? Like, I have something that's on my mind and I got to get this off in the studio.
I actually don't freestyle. I
Mm.
don't write my music in the studio. I go in pre-prepared because I feel like that's the best way to do it because you save a lot of time and a lot of money. And right now, especially during this time, a lot of engineers are going up in their prices. And I think that you get the best out of your experience and out of your money if you come in prepared. So that's just how I go in the studio. But when I sit down and write, I'm literally just listening to a beat and then most of the songs actually I've cried when I've written them because I feel like I'm so connected to them and it's just I feel the beat and I feel the music and I'm just like how can I say this in a way that is like inconspicuous or that's not physically saying, hey, my heart's broken and I'm crying right now. Like, so I just try to find a pretty way to say it.
So, as far as production, like, do you have like a beat in your head, like when you're like writing, or have you already found the beat and then you just write to the beat?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I used to actually just write like lyrics because I used to play guitar all the time. So I would just play chords and just try to make my own songs based off that. As time progressed, though, I definitely just find a beat because I feel like it saves time. I feel like once I find a song or find a beat that I like and I find a melody for it and just the message, it saves a lot of time when you already know what you're doing. You don't have to try to find something to fit the words. You're just fitting the words to this song.
And like you've like slowly starting to build a catalog. So like do you feel yourself like being more comfortable with like whatever your sound is? Like as far as production, how you get on the beat and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I'm still learning every day. Every day is a process for me. And I just learn something new every time I get in the studio. So it's just I feel like just getting more and more comfortable with just making music. I'm slowly starting to find my sound. And it's also like with my engineer like helping me as well. Um that also like boosts my confidence. But as far as like my writing and everything, I'm trying to get stuff off my chest right now, like all the emotions that I felt over time, I'm just trying to express them. And I think that that also creates my sound because that's just my main idea, It's just sad girl music. So
Sad girl music. Are there any like albums that you go to for inspiration when you're like making music?
um I would say no. Because I personally I know a lot of artists that don't listen to anybody else but like their friends and music that they've made because they don't like to lose their inspiration. And I totally feel that. I feel like the more you listen to music, the more you try to sound like certain people. And I try to avoid that. And so I think that me listening to music every day is like low key a hindrance to that. But at the same time, it also helps me to, cook my music a little longer. It helps me to be intentional with my words and with my melodies and stuff because I don't want to sound like the next person.
That's actually interesting because when I was talking to Michael from the East, he said that he still listens to music. And I had brought up that Lil Wayne doesn't listen to music when he records, when he's in creative process, but Drake will just listen to everything while he's in his creative process. And like there's no right or wrong answer, but it's interesting that you don't really listen while you're creating. Has it always been like that? Or did you kind of just eventually say, I don't want to listen, I want to lock in on my sound?
No, I think it's just me reflecting right now because I just subconsciously do it. If I listen to a lot of music, which I do, I listen to music every day. I listen to like all my music on shuffle every day. So because I do that, I find that it often takes me longer to write songs. And so that was just me reflecting right now, just saying like I think that when I do listen to music, it takes a little bit longer for me to lock into my own.
100%. And like when you do make music, do you ever catch yourself? Have you ever caught yourself like this sounds like something that I've heard before, or is it all, or you've never had that problem?
Every day. When I listen to beats, I always just try to freestyle on top of it at first. And so that's how I find my like what I want to do. So if I just start freestyling and I find a melody that I like, I just try to build around that slowly. And I don't start at like a specific piece of the song. I don't start at the beginning. I just start wherever I feel like, hey, that works. And then just basically work around building a song around that.
And like you talked about like growing your social media and stuff like that. Is there anything you're going to be doing on there to like potentially grow it in the future?
Yeah, my manager really wants me to do some freestyle Fridays. The thing about that is I can't freestyle, but I've been working on it. I just heard that Guapale Closer again. Like I always slap these kind of songs, but I heard it earlier and I was like, low key, I could do something to that. So yeah, if you see somebody else do that, they just saw this interview and then decided to take my idea. But that's been on my mind for a second. Mhm.
Okay. And are there anything else you want to do? Because you do talk about modeling, this business, singing. Are there like any talents that you have that we don't know about yet?
I'm a lash tech. I just got certified.
Okay.
Um, What else? I also do YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and it's
You can plug that.
youtube.com by Kayla Hugs a Lot. KaylaHughzALOTT. So you guys can look up my channel. I'm gonna be posting a lot more videos now, because I'm just at that point where I'm gonna be just talking about a lot of stuff, and I just want y'all to see. So check me out.
What's the I always wanted to know this. What's the origin behind that name? Because that's also your Twitter handle, Kayla Hugs a Lot.
Yeah.
And I never like figured out what the origin of that was. Is there anything in particular that that came from? Was that just off the dome?
No, it definitely came from something particular. A lot of people thought it was my last name, so I had to change my stuff because my last name is not Hugs a Lot
Hugs a
or
Lot.
Uggs a Lot. But yeah, basically, I'm just one of those family members that just loves my family, and I just cherish every moment I have with them because I know that it's every day is a blessing, and just we cannot be here tomorrow, so I just always give them love and I always hug them. And my older cousin, she used to call me Kayla Hugs a Lot, so it just stuck. That was what my social media has been since I created a social media. So it's
Facts.
been about like 10, 12 years, that I've just had that name, but it was time to grow, time to evolve.
So like you're starting to for like where you're at, you're starting to heat up a little bit as far as like monthly listens on Spotify. Everything's starting to grow. Everything's starting to add up. Are there like any artists that you'd want to collab with that you haven't gotten in contact with?
I love everybody that does music, but I totally would want to work with Tia No More. She's out of Oakland as well. I just love her. She's been my role model since I was a kid, and she doesn't know about that, but she will now. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, there is Big Tree Steve. He's out of the Bay Area as well. I would love to collab with him. He has a really good sound. All his music slaps. Shoot, we also got Smooth Unlimited. That collab is definitely overdue there. Um,
Yeah, he's fire.
shoot. Yeah, he is fire. Everything they make. That Flex on My Ex, that used to slap back in the day. Like, it still low-key does slap, but I don't want to tell anybody that I just be listening to that. Other
So
than that, I mean, my top people, Rihanna. Can I get a collab?
so also it sounds like you really like want to put on Bay Area people and like just collab with them. Like obviously SOBRB, you've had a couple of moments, but tell me the importance of the Bay Area and like putting it back on, not back on the map, but just making it more relevant.
Yeah. I think that California is definitely, especially the Bay Area, is overlooked. When I hear California, or when I say California when I'm out of state, everybody automatically goes to LA because that's where a lot of stars come out of. And there's always been like the Bay Area that's been a little bit overlooked. I mean, we have Pilo, we have G Easy, we have Kaylani. They all have come out of the Bay Area, but I feel like it's not enough. We have so many artists from Atlanta. We have so many artists from New York, and not enough people from Oakland, I feel, or the Bay Area, period. San Francisco, you feel me? I think that it's time for us, to come back up. But I'm all with collabs. Like, I feel like collabs are the best way to grow as an artist and just to unlock different things. And I've actually collabed with Art by Black. He's a photographer and music artist that I totally, totally loved working with. And his visions are always just so amazing. And I think that using other people's talents and allowing it to, make yourself better is just something that I'm totally down for. And I love just collaborating with other people that I feel like can match my fly, you know what I'm saying? Like that can elevate me as a person as well.
100%. And before we conclude this interview, should let the people know that we go way back. Been knowing you for a very long time.
Hey, Greg, are you gonna insert the picture?
Huh?
I can insert the
Oh, that
picture.
one, no. No, we're not doing that. But, tell me a little bit about, how we met and, how we're in business right now.
Yes, I remember when PJ used to play the drums when he was in 6th grade. Oh, oh my gosh, that's literally was so long ago. But yeah, that was honestly when I first met him, and that was when he was doing band and I was in choir, and I was in 7th grade at the time. I would want to say 7th or 8th. So that was just an experience in its own, and we were both very, very ugly. So just, being friends was pretty lit. We will also stay after school, like in that little after school program, you feel me, and get pizza and stuff. It was pretty awesome. So yeah, I really cherish those moments.
It was amazing, 100% awesome. So,
Why don't you give them your side? What do you feel about our relationship?
um, you know, I don't know, it was just dope because I think that's, like, around the age group you're trying to find yourself, so everybody's going through similar emotions and, like, obviously, when you're a kid, you might have problems at home, like disagreements with parents and stuff like that, so you kinda rely on your friends at school to kinda, like, pick you up, give you the motivation, so, like, that time period was amazing because obviously everybody's going through their own, like, personal struggles and all that, but, after school and all that, you kinda have that little moment of fun, kinda get your mind off of everything going on, and I think that's why, like, the relationships are just so different, just because it's so personable because we really had to, like, help each other through situations.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think the fact that we were both ugly humbled us as people. And
Horses be
also
funny.
that we're Pisces, hey.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, is there anything else you wanna talk about before we end this?
All I want to say is thank you guys for watching. I hope that you do check out my music. All my
Pull
links
up.
to my social media, my SoundCloud, everything will be on my Instagram. And my Instagram again is KRollin Music. So if y'all want to follow me, you can join the family. You're very welcome here. Other than that, just be on the lookout. Honestly, I've just been working and I feel like all this stuff is gonna just come to fruition. So be ready. And thank you.
Very welcome. Well, thank you on behalf of What You Expect, myself, we appreciate you for tapping in with us and giving us your time for this interview.
Thanks for tapping in with me.